All right, you're good.
Okay. Yep. I actually see it's recording now. So, all right. So the CRM is your client relationship manager system. Mike has been very gracious to provide this program to us at Village Realty, which is huge because a lot of the other brokers I've talked to or have been part of don't give us that luxury. You have to pay for it on your own, or what you give them is theirs once you leave. So what's nice is that we have access to this program for free, and the basics of it is really going to help you manage your database, or what I like to call my data bank, because that's really where my money is at and where your money is at in this business that we're in right now. Real estate has really done an about face as far as marketing is concerned. I'm sure Roxanne touched on that in some of the training that she's done, as well as Mike and Michael both, that your sphere of influence, your people that you know, people that you have worked with in the past, or that you go to church with, or there's so many different avenues. Those are the people that know you and trust you, and you need to make sure that they understand you can be their trusted real estate advisor as well. So this program, Real Office 360, is just that. It's your system for managing those relationships. It also allows you to manage your not only your database and your marketing, but also allows you to manage your transactions. So we also have Back Agent, which is great, but this allows you to track the process of specific clients. So hopefully as you're going along in your business, you're building up a pipeline. So that pipeline of business that is future minded. So this is another way for you to track those people so you don't lose them or they fall through the cracks and then miss an opportunity to leave money on the table. So really getting your Real Office 360 system set up so that it's self-sufficient and working well for you is the goal. So tonight, I wanted to touch base on the very basics. And I mentioned this in the Facebook post so that those of you that have been working with the system, we might take it back a few steps for you. And I don't mean to bore you with it, but I wanted to make sure that everyone on the call today, and we have about 12 people here, that you have the opportunity to start from beginning if you need to, and then move forward from there. We're going to touch on the basics. I am always available for you to call or text or email if you have any questions while you're working on this on your own. Mike has asked me to do this since it's been the program that I've been working with since its start at Village. And I've really gotten into the nitty-gritty, as well as working with Guy Mitchell, who's the founder of the company, on some of the training programs that they're putting together, as well as some of the features that they've added in to the system as a whole. So please don't hesitate to reach out to me. If you got a piece of paper and a pencil, I'll give you my number now to call or text. It's area code 815-274-2091. My email is KBB, as in Boyle Boswell, KBB Realty, REALTY, 1818 @gmail.com. You can always email me through Back Agent too, that's fine. So that's the best way to reach me. Don't hesitate, even if you have a really silly question or whatever. I kind of have the connection now where I can get answers pretty easily if I don't know them. But I'm in it as a Premier member. Once you get involved and you get your database up and running, you want to consider perhaps doing the Premier membership. It allows you to track multiple offers besides just 5, and also helps you tie your marketing directly to MailChimp. And also, if you have any lead sources that you're drawing from, Realtor.com, Zillow leads, or anything like that, it will also integrate with those. But you have to have the premium. That's something you have to talk to Mike about directly, because it has to go through our office subscription. I believe, Mike, if I'm wrong, jump in and let me know. That I believe is $10 a month. So it's really super cheap to get those features and get them working for you on your behalf. So I'm going to share my screen so you can see the very basics. Hopefully everybody's gone to vrscrm.com. That's the initial login page for the Real Office 360 through Real Office 360. So hang on. Let me share this and see what I can come up with. Okay, so can everybody see the screen? Yes, maybe, I don't know, I hope so.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, nod, that's appreciative. Thank you, Vicki. Okay, so this is your basic screen. I set up a sample just so that a sample system so that you guys can see the basic 360 offers. Because I have the premium, mine looks a little different. So I wanted to give you the real version of what you're going to see. So when you first log in, this is exactly what pops up. It has the Get Started button down here on the far left-hand side. This will walk you through videos and step-by-step process of how to enter things in. I'm telling you, if you're computer savvy in the slightest, this program is designed to make it as easy as humanly possible to be able to enter in your contacts. So let me see how I can minimize this so that I can go over here. Okay, so what we're going to do first really is just going to be adding in your contacts. There's a couple of ways to do it. I'm going to walk you through just doing the basic adding in a contact. You're just going to hit the red button that was off to that side, and this is what it pops up. Somebody have a question? Okay. So you're going to type in the first name, you can tab and type in the second name, and then it says create a contact. You create this contact and it will pull up the main page. You have the ability to put in a photo for the person if you wanted. I'm not going to that extreme. It's not necessary, I don't believe. And here it's telling you, because of the Get Started, all the different things that you can do. So it'll walk you through it. I'm just going to okay that out so it goes away for right now. Got it? Got it. So what it's saying is, this is your main screen. So you have your basic information. Sorry. Your basic information. It just does not want to let that go. It has your basic information, your follow-ups, and your opportunities across the top. This is most vital. So you want to put in the basic information. So phone number, type in the phone number. Oops. And over here, you'll see USA, of course, but here you can check and decide whether to decipher whether it's a home number, mobile number, fax number, whatever it happens to be. Pagers, I thought that was kind of funny. Not really anybody has pagers anymore. Once you've typed it in, you have to click this red X or check mark. Otherwise, it will not save it. Then you just click down on the add email. Same thing. You're going to add in an email. What am I going to do? And then you're going to check this red checkbox to make sure it saves. It will pop up here when it's done. To add an address, if you know their address, it's very important that you put the address in the field. Here's why. You will have the ability through some of the new systems that they've put in here to do and import a CMA. So for that property. So if you have the address in here already, all you have to do is import it into the numerals, and it allows you to do a CMA and upload it. Well, you'll do a CMA, sorry, through the MLS, and then upload it into this system, and then it will send it to your client through the it's Home Snap 360, I think it's called. And they're working on some tweaks right now, but that is something that will be more available and more user-friendly as we go along. But right now, it will have the addresses in there. If you don't have an address for somebody, it's a great opportunity for you to call them, touch base with them, see how they're doing through the COVID, and getting ready to be unleashed here in Illinois to some degree, and ask for their address. Say you wanted to send them a note, and then you'll have their address on hand. So you'll see once you start typing it, it should pop up with the address already. It auto-populates. You come down here to the save button, click save, and it'll bounce you back to your main screen. So here you can see all the information I've added in. What I'd like you to do is keep scrolling to the bottom where it says groups. It's down here on the the left-hand side. Groups is important for you to be able to, number one, filter in a search when you're looking for specific people. So say you have a farm and I have a Manhattan farm area, an area in Manhattan I work, a neighborhood. So if I want to just market to or just see those people that are in that farm, I can search just Manhattan farm and be able to find those people quickly. If I want family, I can search just family very quickly by using these groups. So I would strongly suggest that you go in and click the red add button. And then this is what they give you in the basic system. So you have family, friend, and past client. That's all you have access to at this point with the groups. If you choose to do the premium, again, get in touch with Mike, and he'll get you set up on that, and then you'll have the ability of adding more fields in here. For right now, I'm just going to say I'm family because, well, it's me. So, and then I click the box, and sometimes you'll have multiples set, and then you have to X out of that. But you'll see down here, it will pop in here somewhere. Where did it go? Sorry, there. So it shows me I'm in the family group. Okay, so that's the basic information. The follow-up section. So follow-ups would be birthdays, anniversaries, home purchase anniversaries, or if there's somebody in your pipeline that you want to be able to track. Say they said, hey, you know what, the kids are graduating in May, we're gonna be downsizing in the fall or winter, so you know, that's what we're thinking about doing. So then that would be somebody you'd want to set up a follow-up for in May. Congratulations on your kid's graduation. And then again in maybe every month thereafter, or every couple of weeks thereafter, depending on what they say and where their motivation lies at that point. So setting up a follow-up, I'm not gonna, well, you'll see how it goes. You can, when you click on the button, let me cancel that out. So when you click on set up follow-up, it's going to say, remind me to follow up. How often? Never, once a month, every 3 months, every 6 months, once a year. It's entirely up to you. These are the options that they give you right here. So I'm going to say every 3 months. I particularly like to reach out to my closest sphere of influence, friends and family, past clients, at least once a quarter. So I put once every 3 months so that I have them on a rotation. And then I get an email saying, these are the people that need to be responded to, or you need to reach out to today, tomorrow, this month, whatever. Remind me starting. So if I just talked to them today and I want to see them again in 3 months, June, July, August. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to say, I want to contact them in September. I'm going to say the 29th, and then click save. That will tell you, that'll say now in 92 days, you're going to follow up with this person. I'll show you where that shows up later on once we get into the other parts of the program. But generally speaking, this will remind you as you go through. So if I knew my birth birthday, I would put it in here. I do, but I'm not going to get into it. You guys, it's self-explanatory. You can scroll through to do the years up or down. No one needs to know that. And then home anniversary. If they just purchased a home, or maybe it was a while ago, you know, if you know those dates, especially if they purchased from you, put those purchase dates in here. That's very important. People love to be reminded of their home purchase. Makes them realize that you remembered who they were. It wasn't just a transaction to you, it was something more. And then so that's follow-ups. Does anyone have a question about follow-ups at this point? I don't know if anybody is raising. No, we're good. Okay. Going back to screen share. Okay. So opportunity tracker. The opportunity tracker is if you have someone currently under contract. Are they, other would be to me like a lease or something along that lines. Home buying, obviously, or home selling, or if you're fortunate enough, have both. So that would be something you can click on to take you. So I'm going to say I'm buying a home. So where are we at in the process? Now, these are this is the area that Real 360 Basic gives you. These are the tags they allow you to tag. Once you do premium, you can change these tags to whatever you want them to be. So they give you sphere, past, current, pending, I believe firm is the last one. So sphere would be perhaps somebody who's looking to buy in the next maybe 6 months. Somebody in your pipeline, 3 to 6 months, somebody in your pipeline who needs to be contacted on a regular basis, but maybe is not quite there just yet. Maybe it's a buyer that is going through the pre-approval process that needs to be, you know, walk through with that, but isn't exactly in the process right now. Current to me would mean that they are active. They're ready to go. They're pre-approved. We're showing property. We've got them on a search, and we're moving forward to finding them the home of their dreams. Pending to me would be that part between the inspection once we get under contract until the point that we have loan commitment. Firm to me would be closed or closing to closed. So again, you're gonna have to use your discretion and what works best for you personally with your business. Those are my explanations. Past would be anything that's already done. My heed to this is that you remember you only can track 5 transactions at a time with the basic system. So you may want to put into the opportunity tracker just those things that are most important and most vital for you to be reminded of on a daily basis to handle certain transactions, if that makes sense. So you're being your own transaction coordinator, this would be what you would do. So I'm going to put it here as a current that Kathy is buying, and she's pre-approved. Stop. Mute somebody. I'm not sure who. It's Alyssa. I got her.
You got her?
Yeah.
There you go. All right.
Okay, so let's go back up there. So, okay, back to home share. So I'm going to say current. It's going to have the opportunity here. You can add more if you want. I'm going to briefly explain what these are before we get more in depth on the opportunities part of it. So history is just that. What have you done with this client? Notes you've taken, you know, contacts you've made, whatever you've done in this file will show up under history. I'm going to skip over numerals. Family, that's if they have a spouse or kids or even a dog or a grandma or an aunt. It allows you to fit in a lot of different categories for family members so that you keep track of important names. This is vital as you build that relationship with your customers. You need to know and remember these finite details to make sure that they understand you're listening to them and that you care about their lives. So that's a great place to put names and information that, and everybody's on Facebook. So you see when kids' birthdays are and family birthdays are, and it's just a good opportunity for you to put a quick note in there and keep track of that stuff for you, all in one location. Properties. So if you clicking on this, you'll see I already have one property in here for myself. It's 110 May Street, which is my home address. I can put in a ton of information in here if I wanted, when it was built, what the lot dimensions are, bedrooms, bathrooms, all that good stuff if I wanted to put that in there. Condo information, same thing. Rural information, that is a pretty general statement at this point, doesn't give you a whole lot of options. Room dimensions. If this is something you're going to list and you want to keep track of this information, you could enter it all here. Personally, I would upload the file I use. It's a page of paper that if I have to do room dimensions, I write it on a piece of paper. I can upload that and put that in a file, which would be over here to the right-hand side. But if you recall me mentioning earlier, the Real Hub or Home Hub 360, it allows you to send out market stats and market updates on pricing for specific properties. So if I wanted to send myself a new CMA saying, hey, the Manhattan market has exploded, Kathy, and I don't know if you're aware, but your value has increased by blank percent. Here's a new CMA to show you what has gone on in the market and where you are now in price point. Depending on your equity, you may be a great time for you to take advantage and sell and find a new home if you wanted to upgrade. Or perhaps if you wanted to do some remodeling, now would be a great opportunity to do a refi where you can cash out and get some remodeling work done. So again, you are their trusted advisor in the real estate profession. You are giving them the information they need to call you when they are interested in potentially buying, selling a property. Tax assessed values, that's something you could use if you wanted to track tax assessments. That's a lot of work, but you could also do that. Land surveys, floor plans, that's all stuff that you can add in here if you want. Again, I personally would use files if I had any of that to upload and keep track of those files, as opposed to double entering the information when I could just upload a file. I'd rather work smarter than harder, so that's just my philosophy. Deals would show you anything you've had and closed with them. You are able to log deals, older deals in here as well. If you wanted to go back and say, you know, they bought their house last year in August from you, and you know, this is the transaction. You can track that in here as well if you wanted to get that in depth. Tasks. This is something you can do if you have new tasks that you want to do with this person. Specifically, if there's maybe a special event in their life coming up, a wedding, or you know, a big anniversary or a birth or something along that lines that you want to, you know, you want to remember to do something for. That's where you can put in tasks, and then it will remind you via email or text, however you set it up. Notes, if you have special notes. Hey, I followed up with them today.
I just got home. I'm in the meeting.
Okay. If you're on notes, you can add in, hey, I just talked to so-and-so. They are interested in selling their home in the fall or winter after the kids are out in college. That's all stuff you can put in there. Or, you know, they just had a baby and the baby's name is such and such. Hey, they just got a new dog or a new cat, or they had to put the dog down. Whatever the case may be, but notes to stick so that you can remember what you're talking about the next time you talk to them. Files, of course, would be where I was mentioning earlier. You can upload any kind of file that that you know they allow here, usually a PDF. And then Home Hub 360. This is something they are working on improving. I would say don't spend a lot of time right now on this system. It's got a lot of little bugs and tweaks that they're working on because it's so different from area to area throughout the United States and Canada where this system is being used. So right now, we're going to shy away from it, but very soon I will be doing a specific 360 class on this Home Hub 360 once they get all the bugs kind of worked out. But that's where that CMA is going to come in, where you're going to be able to set up a Home Hub 360 account for them so that they can get that email from you with the latest and greatest in the property values and things like that. So it'll be a lot of fun once it's done. But right now it's still touchy. So I'm going to backtrack a second to this numerals. This is something that I have been working with Guy on for a couple months now. And it's something I have always done for my sphere of influence. I just never really had a name to it. He put a name to it. These guys that created this program are realtors like you and I. They do their business just like you and I. So numerals allows you to track where they are in your system or in the home buying process. You know, everybody, you know, the cycle of business is about 5 to 8 years for someone to buy and sell a home. So you want them to remember you. So in 5 to 8 years, they're contacting you. This allows you to do that. You know, what does the client need? What is their urgency? So if you're talking about my scenario that I've already put forward, I said, okay, well, I'm not looking to sell until, you know, September or, you know, or the fall or the winter. So what do they need? We need to downsize. So that's, you know, that's something you can add in here as a note. If it's something that's somebody might be looking for investment property, that's something you can put in there as well. Urgency, when do they need it? Might not be years. It might be in the next couple of months. It might be that they're working on their financing, whatever the case may be. Motivation, what's driving this change? These are questions that you can just be finding out in basic conversation with your sphere of influence, your past clients, your database. What are their expectations? How much cash or equity do they have to use? Are they pre-qualified? Can they really sell? Are they underwater, or what's the situation? Maybe they're paid off and they're ready to go. So now they have to look at capital gains if there are any, and then loyalty. Have you earned them as a raving fan? Have you earned their trust that they're going to call you regardless? So these are all just bits and pieces of information that you can gather throughout the whole process of managing this particular relationship with this client, so that you can ensure that this is one piece of transaction or one transaction that could turn into multiples, just because you've cared enough to be conscious of what they're looking for and what they need. Does that hopefully make sense to everybody? So I'm going to see if I can move this. I can. Good. So now we're done with Kathy's file. So we're going to close out here so I can take you back to the main screen. You can go crazy adding in all this information. I mean, it could take you hours. You could hire a teenager to do it for you. You can upload and import your own database. That's fine as well, which I'll show you how to do next. The key to it is get the basics in here. Name, number, email address, their basic information, so that you have something to work with and you can set up a quick follow-up with them in the next however often, so that you keep in touch with these people and don't let them fall through the cracks. So don't go crazy, just get these people in there and then you can update it from there. I heard a heavy sigh just there. So, okay, we're gonna go into imports. Mike, I'm assuming you haven't heard anybody. Does anybody have a question? I can't see. I'm gonna go back to stop sharing.
Yeah, no questions so far from anybody.
Okay.
So just keep going. And then since you're the host, if you can make sure everybody's microphone's got a line through it, except yours.
All
And if
right.
they actually talk, then they'll just have to unmute themselves if they have a question. But right now, we just want to make sure everybody's muted.
I think I got everybody
Keep
muted
on going.
but you. Okay, I'm gonna go back to screen share. All right, so let's go through really quickly how to import your database. So if you're fortunate enough to have your database on a spreadsheet of some kind, or maybe in Google Docs or something along that line, you're gonna click right here in this upper right, not add context, you're gonna hit on import. That's gonna ask you, what do you have? Do you have a CSV file? Is basically an Excel worksheet. It's a special kind of worksheet, but it's basically an Excel spreadsheet. So if you have an Excel spreadsheet, that's what you're gonna click on. If you're syncing your contacts from Google, sync it from Google, however you wanna do it. I personally have a CSV, an Excel spreadsheet for my file, so that's what I'm going to click on. Once you click on that and you pull this up, you're gonna hit browse file. That's right here in the center box right here. Once you hover over it, you'll see that it highlights for you. So I'm gonna go into my data bank and I'm gonna do my sample, and I'm just gonna double click it and it'll automatically pull it over. So you see sample RO 360, that's my spreadsheet, that's my size, that's the whole 9 yards. And here it is again. So whatever you named your spreadsheet, it should be there. Let's see. So the only other thing you got to do at that point is then click on down here at the bottom where it says upload file. And it's going to say, okay, now let's match some fields, because you have specific fields in your spreadsheet that we want to match up and make sure that when we import this information, it's the same information is coming through on Real 60 as it is from the spreadsheet. So all you have to do is click right here. Oh, that's fun. It did not work. Let me try this one. Oh, all right. Well, we have a snafu. Let me try a different one. Okay, so this is what happens when you have an issue. Let me close this. Import here. And let's see, we'll do wedding, upload file, first name. Okay, so I changed the file, so I have a new file that's coming in. You click on this box right here that says click to select one of your CSV columns. It's asking for first name. So I want first name right here. So you can see it'll give you some samples from your actual spreadsheet. So you know what you're picking is what you should be getting. So last names, these are indeed the last names of those that are above there. Email address, I have an empty email field. So you can either click empty, or you can click or just leave it alone. Don't touch it at all, move on to the next one. I know I don't have phone numbers in this one. I know I have addresses in this one. Where are they? Oh, sorry. So addresses, oops, we're gonna close that out. If you can scroll through when you click on it, you scroll down to the bottom to find the street addresses that you have assigned. If you have apartment numbers or alternative numbers or alternative address information added in there. City is there. State is here. We have a zip code. Zip code. And these are all different fields that you can put in here. You can have spouse's information, wedding anniversaries, all that stuff can be in there. You don't have to have every one of these fields selected. You can leave it blank if you want to leave it blank, or you can put it, or you can add in whatever works for you. It's entirely up to you what you want to do. And then once you've selected the fields that you know match your particular spreadsheet, you click on next steps. And it will say, okay, well, do you want to create duplicates, create multiples, or do you want to merge data? So it's only usually shoot the merge data, but this spreadsheet must not be working well. I don't want to do that. My suggestion would be to you to click merge data. I will tell you that when I did my actual database, which is not this particular file, I merged the data so it was not duplicating anything, and it moved very swiftly and did it very well. So I would avoid creating multiples, because then you just have multiple copies of the same person's information. But for tonight's training, because it's not working well on this particular document, I'm going to hit begin import. But again, I'm going to stress you to merge data. So it'll take a minute and it'll go through and upload the file. All right, so it's gone 100%. Sometimes this takes a little longer. I had over 250 people in my initial database, and when I did it, it took a long time to process. I think my system, I have an older laptop, got jammed up a little bit. So I closed it off, went to bed, got up the next morning, and everything was imported into 360. So typically it goes smoothly like this, but if for some reason it seems like it locked up, just back out of it and see if you can enter back into the system and see what's uploaded. If not, you'll have to go through the process again. So it's telling me that 100% of them went through. So there they are. There's all my contacts, all in here together. So it's fairly simple. There are a ton of help videos if you wanted, or again, like I said, reach out to me if you have any questions while you're working with the process. If you're actually working on it and you're stuck, text me. Don't just call me or email me. Text me is the fastest way to reach me, and then I can respond as quickly as possible with the information. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what is happening across the screen here so that you have an idea. Contacts would just be everything that you have in contacts, everything you enter in. This number should, tick up every single time you enter in. This will update here in a minute. The tracker, this is your opportunities. If you remember opportunities when we entered in Kathy Boswell, there I am as a current buyer, because it says right here I'm a buyer. It allows you to track your businesses. You'll see right here under opportunity tracker, your free plan allows you 5 opportunities available. So number 1, get rid of example contact, because we don't need example contact anymore. We're going to delete this opportunity. We want to delete it forever because we don't need an example anymore. Oh, that's lovely. There we go. Forever. Okay, so it doesn't let you delete the example. So that's great. So I don't want to close it. Okay. So what you're going to do is make sure that you have your set transactions in here. Again, you have to determine what sphere means to you, past means to you, current means to you, pending means to you, firm means to you. You cannot make changes to those names until you've reached the premium level. What you can change are checklists or action items, as they call it. So if you look right here next to where my name is above in current, there's a action list. If you hover over it, you'll see action list for current. When you click on it, this is an action list that you can create for either other, which remember was either a lease or something commercial, something like that, a buyer or a seller. In this case, I'm a buyer, so I'm going to click on that. And it gives you automatically the ones that they've come up with or given you, but you can add a new item. So for me, I like to set up on the MLS, set up search. So I'm going to add that in so that I know that that's on there. I have an entire checklist for buyers and sellers, so I added those all in here. It took a little bit of time, but it was really pretty self-explanatory. It's pretty easy to do. You can change these as well if you don't want showing day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. Hopefully you don't have showings up to 5 days, but that's okay. You can change them to say whatever you want to say. Whatever your transaction process is. Maybe it's securing a copy of the pre-approval. And just hit enter and it's already set through. So you can change these, you can add to these, and remember you are under current buyer only. The current seller has its own list of things: order the sign, install a lockbox, set up staging, so forth and so on. You can change these any which way you want. You can move them around if you want to move them around, or you can add in your own action items. Each field, each column, if you will, has its own checklists for all 3 categories: other, buyer, and seller. So if you click on this one, it'll pull up, come on, might have everything in there because it's passed. So everyone has its own list of action items for you, or you can add in your own action items for the ones that don't. So so this is just another way for you to track your business as you're going through. So if you have, you know, your checklist, or if you want to take some of the ideas from the back agent checklists that are on there, that's a possibility as well. Then at that point, it will filter them in here. As soon as you add in one of these fields, so once you've selected someone to be one of your opportunities that you're tracking, whatever level you put them at, if you remember, I put myself as a current buyer, that list automatically came up here in my action items for my for this particular client, which is myself. So you can change it. You can, again, you can make the changes directly to these, or you can add new tasks, and then you can schedule it for today, schedule it for later, mark it as done, remove it completely. You have options to do whatever you want to do. So say I had showings with Kathy today on, you know, a couple of properties, and I'm going to mark that, yep, we've already done it. So that's all it takes to do that. I can set this for later. Okay, so we didn't find anything we liked, so we're going to change it. So here's showing day 4 for Kathy. She's a buyer, she's current. What day do I want to do it? I want to do this on, we're going to go July 6th is the day that we're going to do the next showings. I know that we're going to do them at, we'll just say 10 a.m. and it's going to take us 30 minutes. I want to set a reminder on Sunday night at 6:55 to remind me to pull up all my details to make sure I have everything ready to go for my 10 a.m. showings. I can add notes in here if I want to add notes, specific property addresses if I want. It could just be we're going to New Lenox to show, you know, 2 houses. It could just be, you know, second showing and she loves it. We're gonna bring in mom and dad, whatever the case may be. And then you hit schedule and it will pop up into your planner. So across the top, we had contacts. We have our tracker, which you're looking at right now. You have goals, which you can set your goals. If you have specific goals that you want to track, it will track those for you. The more closings you have, the more the number will tick down for you. Follow-ups. If you have follow-up set up, like they have the example contact has a follow-up set up for follow-up, home anniversary or birthday, that will pop in there. Your planner. This is something that you can customize. Again, not a concern. The key to it is that you get your contacts into the system. That's your number one goal. Your second goal would be to add in any transactions that you know that you have going on right now, that you might want a little extra reminder of when things need to be done, so you don't miss any important dates or timelines or documents or whatever the case may be. Those will all filter into your planner here. And you can also set it to remind you, you can also set it to Google to sync to your Google Calendar so that you have all the details right on your calendar. Everybody handles that differently, so I'm not going to go too much further. I know that it works well. I have yet to do it because I have such a system in my Google Calendar. I have yet to figure out exactly how that transfers over, but I do get emails every day with my planner information of who I need to follow up with, what I have missed, and or what I need to address coming up in the next month or so. And that all is taken care of over here by your name. This is the last thing I'm going to touch on tonight. So your planner details. So I set up a reminder to remind me to talk to Kathy or to get my details ready for Kathy's showings. So I want to make sure that that comes through to my email. So when you click on your name over in the far right-hand corner, let me get this out of the way. You're going to hit account settings. Your account settings will pull up this field here. You can put your picture in there if you want, if you think it's cute. Go into email notifications is what you're actually going to do. Email notifications will send you, pop in an email, whatever email is on file for you. For me, it's my personal, right in this particular one. So my daily planner email, do I want it on or do I want it off? I want it on. When do I want it to email me? 8 a.m.? Maybe it's 6 a.m. because I'm up early and I want to make sure that I'm planning my day early. And then what days do I want it to email me? I want it to email me every day but Sunday because I don't work on Sundays. So I'm going to set that up that way so that I know that on my planner, if there's any reminders, any follow-ups, anything that I put on there as a scheduled event, it will email me on these days. I won't put anything on for a Sunday. Tasks due, that's another one that you can go into and change if you'd like. You just click on tasks due email under that email notification. You would click edit. And then you can put on there ASAP, daily, weekly, never, however you wanted to do it. I would keep it at ASAP just simply because if it's a task that needs to be done right away, wouldn't you want to know about it so you don't miss it? Those are the most important features I think at this point you need to know in order to continue moving through with this program to get it up and running so your data bank is solid and ready for you to really take hold of and grow your business, because this is really where it's at. Your contacts, tracking the business that you have going on, making your follow-ups, making sure you're following up with everybody that needs to be followed up with, that you're not missing out on anything there. And then if you want to get into the planner, you can, but as long as you have those emails set up under your account settings, then you don't even have to worry about the planner right now. You just need to worry about getting your contacts loaded, either manually or imported, get your tracker started with a few transactions that you might have going on now, and then work on those follow-up plans. So that's the biggest part of this system. It is pretty self-explanatory once you get into it and you start maneuvering around. But again, if you have any questions at all, you don't hesitate to give me a call or a text or an email. So, and I'll be happy to help you. Questions? I don't know how to unmute everybody. Or don't you want me to do that, Mike?
No, just keep going. If somebody's got a specific question, they can unmute themselves and they can join in. I've only got one question, and that was just clarifying that an Excel spreadsheet can be used to upload all your existing people, if you have it, on the wizard. And again, like we said in the beginning, we're recording this, so anybody that wants to like walk through step-by-steps of that, when we're done, maybe we'll try to put together a little list of certain key tasks and at what point in the video they are, so that I'll make sure that is one of the things that the importing wizard, where does that fall, like at what minute mark, so that you can go
gotcha.
through it. And we'll do that with other key items. So if anybody else has things that they want to have marked once the video is done, let me know. And if you get any other questions, of course, just text me or ask me. All right, keep going. You're all good.
That's pretty much, I mean, I can go even further in depth if y'all want me to. I just wasn't sure how far you wanted me to keep going with it. That was the meat and potatoes, was getting everything set up with your database, making sure that you have your follow-up set for your people, making sure that you have your tracker, and then if you wanted to make adjustments to your lists on your checklist, your action lists on your tracker, and then making sure that your email is set properly to alert you when you have a task that's due. So, do you want me to keep going?
No,
About this?
because I think at a certain point we might be going too far.
I think at this point, I mean,
we're going to have more of these, and I want to make sure. I don't know how many people have thus far or how many haven't, but
that's my.
We got to make sure that everybody is using it. So the people that haven't already got themselves up and running, that you get yourself started, start getting your contacts in it. You got to actually start using it before we can start going to the next steps, I think. So for the first opening video, I think that's about as far as we probably want to take it. Plus, it's been an hour. I don't think we want to go much more than that, or people won't keep coming. So,
right.
Most importantly, though, is for the next one when we have it, and we're going to do this monthly, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Second Monday of every month. So
I hope that every single person. You say the second Monday?
Second Monday. So I believe the next one will be July 13th.
Okay, so a couple weeks. So it gives everybody a chance who's on this, and hopefully more people that watch it later, to get their CRM started if they haven't already. Get a little bit familiar with it. Most importantly, get your active buyers or sellers in it, and get your previous clients in it. You know, if you've got a couple years, a year's worth, 2 years worth, 4 years worth of previous buyers and sellers or tenants, get them in there right away. Everybody right now is looking for ways to drum up more business, and there's no single best way than to be working with and reaching out to the people that already know you, like you, and trust you, right? And if you're looking for advocates, people that are going to help you drum up your business, it's obviously should be every single person you've done business with, because they should be speaking you up. So let's just try to focus on getting to where we're using it, and then we'll try to get to where we're more powerful within it each time we do a session.
They look at it from the standpoint, Mike, of your contacts. The contacts page is really your workspace. That's what you should be dealing with on a daily basis, making the contacts to people. And use this opportunity as you're uploading people in, or however you're doing it, adding them in individually, use that opportunity to reach out to them, to actually call them, text them, whatever their, what their line of communication is, and make that your first contact, so that moving forward, those follow-ups are super simple. That's already, you just know, okay, I need to follow up with them in the next 6 months or in the next 3 months, or however you choose to do it. But use that contact as your workspace. And then your tracker, look at your tracker as the results of getting in your business and growing it. That tracker is really showing you the results of what you've done and work you put forward to make those people raving fans for you.
Right. Absolutely.
I have a quick question.
Yep.
Sure.
When you first go to the VRS CRM website, do you click join VRS, or is it the same as your back agent information?
No.
You have to click join VRS if you've never logged in.
Okay.
It'll ask you for your full name, an email, and that your work email, and then so probably whatever Village
Okay.
uses for you, and then create a password. And then from there, you can click the little button to stay logged in if you want. And then from there, you just can always log in as that.
Okay, perfect.
This is separate and apart from back agent, separate system.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Make sure I've got no more other questions. My son says the whistle is back. I don't know. He blames it on me, but we don't have any other questions anyway. So thank you, Kathy, for the coaching session. And thanks everybody for participating. And we'll see you next time.
See you guys. Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you.
And give me back the hosting, Kathy.
How do I do that?
I don't know.
I just
Still
see you.
recording. No.
Here we go. I just
Oh, I
reclaimed
just
it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Got
was
it.
gonna say, I don't know. I don't see that. So you're it.
I got it. So
All right.
I'll kill the recording. All right. And then I'll save it and we'll get it loaded up.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks, Kathy.
Thanks, Mike.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.